So today's buzzword is agentic. A-G-E-N-T-I-C. It's a weird word. It looks funny. No one uses it no one's probably ever said that word before.
I haven't really heard that word. I mean, scrolling, yes, I've probably heard it come out of, Gary or those guys, but overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear it.
And it's because...
Is it a secret?
It is sort of. So like average consumers don't use agentic services with AI. They use chat-based services with AI. So like
Gemini and
and they'll just go to it and they'll ask it a question or tell it to read something and give them a response back. It's a prompt-based system. So you prompt it, which simply means you're asking it a question or telling it to do something right then and respond to you in that window. And that is like literally what, like 95% of consumers, that's how they use AI. They just use it to like help them out.
It doesn't remember the first conversation to the next conversation.
If you don't have, and that's another part of agentic, and that's the big difference as well. You're right. It doesn't have a long memory because you got to remember all the AI services for consumers are a lot like Facebook when it started and still to this day, it's free.
Right.
And to recall previous conversations, a lot like Facebook, they started deleting all the videos.
Right.
They did that because it's, how many petabytes or whatever the heck the biggest amount is, they must have been sitting on so much old crap. And that's what AI they don't want to do. They don't want it to stuff with so much prompts and histories for so long that actually what happened is an engineer came up with a process called MCP. Mm-hmm. And it's basically like a memory context protocol where it does remember your history and it contextualizes it between all the things you do. And the cool thing and the reason why it was so important that they standardized it, kind of like a USB port on a computer, was that all of the AI services could follow the same protocol so that you could use other services and they could share that memory between tools. That's where MCP came in. But you would never really use MCP if you're just a consumer using the chat window.
Right. No,
Agentic, which is today's buzzword, is a whole different ball of wax.
Let's hear it.
And so we'll jump in and then we'll get to your part, what you were just talking about a second ago.
No.
Yeah, no, it's so good. So agentic. So
you're just trying to get me fired. He's just trying to get me fired.
Hey, I like your input. And sometimes you say stuff before we start recording, and you're like, don't spoil it all. Save it for the video. So agentic AI refers to a system that doesn't just respond to prompts. So I just said that. It doesn't just respond. It autonomously plans, acts, and uses tools to complete a multi-step task with minimum human intervention. So an example of that would be, instead of saying, get me the cheapest flights to Florida for the week of November 10th through the 17th. That's kind of like a Google search, but a prompt on an AI means it's actually going to go look at maybe TripAdvisor and Delta and use it, and it will analyze the data and it will get you back a nice list without you having to scroll down through search results. So that would be a prompt and a response. An agentic action would be using MCP. It knows you. It knows how you like to book flights. It knows the types of seats that you like to use. You always pay 10 extra bucks for the more leg room. And you then say, book me a flight, the best, cheapest flight with my preferences for November 10th through 17th to Florida.
That's like having your own personal agent or...
There you go, agent. See, agentic is basically the verb of an agent taking action on your behalf.
I mean, everybody's getting into that. Yep. I've seen a lot of that happening, even myself.
Agentic is that. And they're calling it, another cool term using that same word is agentification, where basically you take any business in the world and you can apply agentic agents to agenticify that business's modality and whatever they were doing before.
Right.
An example would be maybe a billing system, where maybe you have a secretary that sits there at a desk and every day on her little to-do list for that day, she has to send out past due notices to medical patients that haven't paid after 30 days. And so she goes through a list and she sends the emails and she has to attach the invoice. Well, there was a lot of software tools that started coming out to help with these things. But what if, here's an example of how all of a sudden it's agentic. What if the system did it automatically and if the person, the patient, responded and said, well, I can only pay 200 of the 1,000, and the agent could look up the payment history, understand the patient invoice that's due, and know that yes, we could take a partial payment. Yes, and responds back to that patient saying, yes, no problem, go ahead. Here's the link to pay the $500 against the 1,000. Now that just saved Betty, me, the secretary, from having to respond back to the patient, change the invoice amount or allow it to take a partial payment, apply the payment onto the account, notate the account. The agentic agent would do all of it.
They basically train that agentic
almost like to take the
it.
role of what a person would do at a computer,
Right.
you know, and it's like a lot of people, that's what people are always worried about, is it going to take jobs, displace jobs, but the truth is it'll do like everything is always done. In agriculture, when tractors came around, the people that were doing the actions of the tractors found something else to do. You know,
they learn the tractor
on the farm, or they learn how to drive the farm and train other people and fix the tractor. All of a sudden, now there's mechanics at farms instead of just a handyman. So a lot changes, and I think that we're in for a hell of a thing. But that's what agentic is. So why it matters is
basically a personal agent that helps you do tasks because AI is task driven,
efficiently, more accurately, more quickly, and in higher volume, and at a lower cost. And you can see when you start seeing all of these benefits, and we talked about it a little bit last time, is that cost of goods start to go down. So now all of a sudden, your dollar goes farther, so you don't have to work as many hours, and we start living in a Star Trek land where it's like people aren't going to work to have to earn to be able to eat, where the world gets so affordable. I know. We still got a ways for that.
I mean, 2030 is what they call. That's the day.
They're thinking that there's no way it should take more than 10 years from when it started, which was 3 years ago. Because it's like on one of those exponential curves.
Well, you just hear that date. I hear that date over and over, 2030, 2030, 2030. That's in all the fields, the financial to the banking to AI to
medical,
social media to medical. All those guys are doing it.
It's true.
I mean, it's
true. So this is kind of gives an example, a localized example.
Go for it.
An example would be like a business owner down in Lake Havasu. He's got an AI agent. He says, find me the 10 best landscaping leads in my zip codes and draft outreach messages for each one. One prompt gets 10 leads, 10 personalized emails, done. That's what agentic means in practice. That's an example of it. Yeah,
done.
Just that quick, just that one prompt and then multiple actions taken. So it's crazy. And so 97 million times so it says stat to drop immediately. Infrastructure for AI agents is that MCP, that Model Context Protocol. And every AI company now has these built into their systems. You should see some of the new stuff I've been messing around with. Holy cow. Because of how many times, 97 million installs of this MCP protocol into AI structures, that people are using the agents because that's what they're using that for. So when you look at like Anthropic, which is really the original open source AI, you look at that growth curve of how many people are installing this agentic use. And so this is only October, November, December. This is literally what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, and it's gone from almost no use to 97 million installs. So you're getting a lot of like agent action that are using these. OpenAI started working more heavily with them as well. But look what happened to their market share. So when Anthropic did this, OpenAI went from a 50% market share of all the AI action to 27% in 1 year.
Well, that's because people rather, instead of asking it, now you got someone that's going to tell you and it's right there for you.
Yeah.
I mean, basically call, hey, you need to do this.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I know what you like and what you don't like. I need a reservation. Right now, I got that personal, you call and it's not even me, but it sounds like me.
Yep.
And then I can be drinking coffee and it's all done for me right there.
It saves you time, And when you look at this enterprise market share for these guys. So Q1 of last year, so January, February, March 25, OpenAI 50%. Anthropic only had 4% market share. And then a year later, it's climbed to 40%. It 10x'd its market share.
20, 30,
and that was due to Anthropic, when it started, it had Claude, and that was its big, claim to fame was Claude. And when they opened up Claude Coworker and Claude Code, it changed everything. Now Claude Code is the #1 AI coding tool in the world.
Oh yeah.
And when they just did not that long ago, less than a month ago, Cowork. Now that is what I'm installing next, because I'm doing Perplexity right now, computer. Anthropic's Claude Coworker, you install it on your computer, so it's like an actual desktop app that you install, versus Perplexity, which is a browser-based one. And you install it, and then you literally, when you want something done, you just ask it like you normally do, but it's agentic. And it will then spin up, they call it spinning up agents in parallel, so you can have multiple agents at the same time running, and they will complete the task on your behalf through multiple angles, including writing code to create scripts that can do things even faster than you could do in a browser. So an example, and I know that's a little technical, but basically...
Yeah, you're getting too technical.
Well, like OpenAI had browser use, I think it was called, where you could actually have it control your browser, and what it would do is it would take screenshots and then try to analyze where the button was, and then it would click it, and then it would analyze again, and it would basically through visual screenshots kind of move the cursor to do stuff. So it worked, but not that great.
When you're getting into this stuff, now your media platforms have something similar that's going into play. Have you played around with those?
Which ones? Metas?
We'll just start with the Meta one, because the Meta seems to be shoving out more than I've ever seen before.
I don't use a lot of on-platform AI, like Meta's Llama and stuff.
Right.
I usually do everything outside of the platform.
Would you trust it to do some of the things that you're saying?
I heard that, because they got Manus now.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah,
now.
when Facebook bought Manus, that was like but it's really good at creating ad plans and campaigns, is what I've seen.
Yeah.
And analyzing the campaigns. I personally don't typically trust the whole
advantage.
Because I feel like it's in their favor, right? I mean,
right.
They want you to have good results so you stay paying, but at the same time they're trying to optimize their money that they're making. I'd rather use a third-party tool that has access to the same data and is not biased to the platform, and it's biased to me instead. So Anthropic and Claude, Perplexity, use those tools as long as you have the same access to the data, which you can through the APIs of Facebook. Right. It'll give you the access, and then determine your strategy based on those. I think that's going to be my long term of that. Because I just don't trust that they're going to be like, oh, you really should do Advantage Plus because you're going to reach more people and you'll have a higher. They always give you like this. You'll get a 1.2x higher engagement,
right, as
and
you
more
go into it. Yeah,
and then you never get those results. Almost rarity that you get what they're saying.
Well, it's going to go wherever you tell it to go anyway. Their AI is going to go, okay, well, this ad or whatever is not working.
Right. And Google does the same thing.
Right. Take you down this long road.
Yeah.
And of course, they get the numbers close, but they don't get the numbers that close. Anyway, let's just get off that subject.
Yeah. But I mean, but it's true. It's using AI agentically to help do something that would take you hours and it'll do it in minutes. That's the whole idea of agentic. It's a huge benefit. Some other things that have happened just recently in the news. OpenAI just killed Sora. So that was their video model.
Yeah.
And the internal sources that I've read.
And everybody was swearing by it. Woo, Sora 3. I think it got up to Sora 3.
I think so, yeah. And I read that the reason is because they just don't have the compute. They don't have enough GPUs to do what they're trying to do long term on all of their other contracts and things to be able to do video modeling, because models take the most GPUs because it's doing so many frames of AI generation.
That's why you only get 8 seconds.
Right. Some do up to 20, but there's so many different models out there.
But the cost of it, that's where it varies. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, so that they're out of that game, which is actually kind of nice. Which is funny because Disney they did a collaboration with them with creative partnership. You see right here, Disney's $1 billion creative partnership is reportedly on hold. So they were going to give them $1 billion for OpenAI to help them create and work with them on Disney projects and licensing their characters. And now Sam Altman's like, nope, I'm out. You're using up too much of my GPUs, and I can't do other things that I need to do. And so they're out. So that's kind of cool that at least it's one less, because there's so many options sometimes that you get option overload. Where you're like, what do I even use anymore? Anthropic, 81,000 person study.
It's not what we're using; it's what I can afford to use.
Right.
I mean, because some of these are very expensive.
Yeah. So, and most people don't pay for, they don't pay for premium things like models.
Right. Well,
and there is a big difference.
The huge difference. I usually play with that trial and then go hit that big dot. If I'm going to work with it, you might as well pay the annual, pay it off, and then you got it. But these things are getting kind of
certainly the video models. Yeah. Anthropic just recently did the largest qualitative AI study with 81,000 people in 159 countries and 70 languages, and how people actually use AI, which is pretty interesting. I wonder where. Let's see if
they like how fun it is.
Well, and yeah, exactly. They like it doing little kind of not so important things. Here it is.
I think it's a trust issue too. I mean,
it is.
I mean, we're having a trust threshold right now that's being created, and us humans don't like to give away too much of our.
And here's the 3 takeaways. So 81,000 people in 160 countries. So people want professional excellence, personal transformation, life management.
These are the things that they're hiring this thing for. Correct?
Yeah, this is what they want AI for. This is what these people are using it for. What AI is actually delivering is productivity gains or nothing. They want productivity gains. People are worried about unreliability, job security. I'd actually just heard a thing from a podcast that was about Harvey. I guess there's an AI model that's called Harvey that is for lawyers. And so the world, I think it was the nation's or the world's largest law firm, they got a big contract with Harvey to use it. One of the lawyers told the podcast host who they were friends with, actually it was Neil Patel, and that's what I was listening to. And he said that they never use it because it is so inaccurate. He's like, the lawyer told Neil that every time something is generated, they have to double check it, and it takes just as much time double checking it as doing the research in the beginning.
It lied?
Yeah, because it's trying to fill in gaps. If it doesn't know something, it fills it in. I mean,
that's not very safe at this point. No,
you don't want that. Let's see here. We got some. That's a GPU thing. Let's look at Apple. Apple in the news for possibly launching a new AI model through Siri. So the idea is right now when you say Siri, well, I shouldn't say it because my phones are going to go crazy. But basically, it's a on-device Apple assistant, but you have to be an Apple customer using the Apple service. So what they're saying is, imagine it being spun off into its own service like a ChatGPT or a Claude or whatever, where you could just go to the site, have an account. You don't have to. You can be on a PC, and you could start using its service, or you could have an Android phone, download the Siri app. Now you can use it to do those things. Everybody's been kind of waiting to see what is going to happen with those guys because Siri is horrible, and it's the worst one. And when Amazon Alexa smokes it, and even Alexa's not that great, but it's so much better than Siri. And so the question is are they going to do that? Apple's preparing to do something, and they're supposed to be announcing at the World Wide Developer Conference in 2026. I'm not sure what month that's coming out on. Is it on March 20?
It says March 20.
Let's see. But that should be pretty cool, man, because if it actually starts becoming good, then maybe we'll actually start using it. Let me see if I can get to Apple Prepares right here. Oh, it didn't say when it was. It just says in the let's just check it out.
In the near future.
Yeah, I'm just going to find out what the date is just so I can say it in case people care. June 8th through 12th. So a couple months. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they announce it. And I don't know. I mean, so one of the questions is which AI company do you trust the most with your business data, and would you use the Apple Siri agent? So if you're listening, which AI is your favorite? Comment it.
Put it down.
Yeah, and then would you use Apple Siri over a third-party AI app if it's on your phone? It's integrated with all your Apple stuff. It knows all your information. It can use your contact information.
Right now,
how are you going to use that?
Siri's kind of crappy,
I just don't use it because of it.
But it's in all the devices, so therefore they do kind of have an upper hand at a lot of iPhones.
Yeah, a ton.
So if we can get all our users to click on and get this thing
start
going,
using it,
it's going to learn. I mean, Siri's been around since Apple pretty much came out with this flat phone.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Wasn't it?
It was around for a while.
It's been around for a
Well,
while.
they bought that other app. Like, remember there was some other app. I don't know if it was called Siri. It might have been. And they bought them. They bought them out, and they put it into the Apple ecosystem.
It should have been learning. They should have got it to learn all this time. I mean, it'd probably be the one that everybody go to.
Okay, next up, marketing trends.
Marketing trends.
So we love talking about this because this is what we do. So agentic, buzzword in marketing trends. So 67% of enterprise marketing budgets now have a dedicated AI line item. So it's hard enough to get a small, medium-sized business to even have a marketing budget. Line item, or advertising, or sponsorships, or anything in that whole wheelhouse. It's hard to get that. But bigger companies, the enterprise companies, not only have marketing and advertising budgets already set, they're adding a new line to make sure that they have enough resources to push AI and agentify their business where they can. Because again, it's not just about saving money. It's about volume of production, efficiencies, saving time, and so that the time can be allocated elsewhere, moving important people that are doing stupid stuff that they don't need to be doing, moving them into another role where they're actually being used for their actual skill set versus data entry. So that is a big thing. So like, you got to ask yourself right now, if you're a small, medium business in Mojave County, do you have a budget for marketing and advertising? Do you have AI as part of that?
Right.
Or is the company you're working with, do they use AI, and how are they using it?
Now, doing the marketing and the AI, let's just bring this to the table that, since the big lawsuits happening with the kids and whatnot, you hear talk amongst the Apple and the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where they're going to have to either bring down because the addiction to the roll.
Oh yeah.
The scrolling is
Facebook
kind of
got nailed.
375
million or something like that.
Something like that. But now that not only, I think it's flagging that along with AI. So when people are putting AI stuff in, I have a funny feeling they're going to automatically put a watermark or some kind of identifier
100%.
on it, because people are not saying everybody is honest, but they're going to put these AIs in, and all of a sudden it's going to go, boop, watermark, there it is.
And last
for
week,
the safety of the kids, the community.
Week, when you weren't here, the word was citability, and that was one of my little topics I had. It was X, Twitter, is now doing that. It's testing watermarking and flagging AI content so that you know that it is that. So it's already testing its ability and reliability of knowing if it's AI. And so Google's doing the same thing. So Google is looking at the content that's getting put on blogs and stuff, and it's like really scrutinizing whether it's full AI or if there's any human intervention with it. So no, you're right. And then the kid safety part. When you have, like, there's a lot of guardrails right now on the large models where if you are not even a kid necessarily, but if you are just a person and you start talking and asking questions that might be self-harm issues, it'll actually flag it, and it'll try to redirect that person. Instead of answering questions, it redirects them to a health, please speak to someone in the health profession. So those have guardrails, but you can get non-licensed models. You can get open source models, and you can install them on things like Mac Minis. Right. So kids will then have no guardrails. So yeah, we're in a weird world where social media and AI and all of this, like, how do we protect kids using these things?
How do you protect each other? How do you protect our kids? I mean,
it's a big question.
It's a big open hole there that needs to be kind of like, because this is where the trust issue comes into play.
Yeah, 100%. So part of the AI marketing line item is AI budgets. I talked a little bit about this also last week, where 63% year-over-year increase in AI-powered ad spend. That's crazy, and you can see, look at that LinkedIn carousel. Yeah, so you got this little chart here where you're looking at 24, 25, 26. So you got 24, you've got LinkedIn carousel spend, and then 190 billion. Okay, so you see how it just goes up and up and up and up. So you're basically, the question is are you as a person with a business, are you spending any money right now on AI tools to help your marketing? And if you're not,
or your business itself,
right? Oh yeah, exactly.
Your bookkeeping and all that's going to be all put into AI. I mean, let's take some middle people out, put that in, work more efficiently. But again, is it telling me the right? Is it just putting stuff in there, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
See,
it's always
there's a
having
huge
that.
trust. People are not going to flip that easy. I mean, you see it,
right?
But there's going to be a point where everybody goes, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
There'll always be like this grain of salt with everything you see. Like, is this real? Is this information correct? Like, there's always going to be that.
Did I just have deja vu?
Yeah. Like, have I seen this before? Is this the same thing?
Exactly.
Here's a good stat too. This one's crazy. 24% of AI users turn to AI for purchase decisions. That's crazy. 1 in 4 people are going there to look for purchasing decisions.
1 out of 4. That's huge.
Because it wasn't around. This wasn't around 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So you got to think everything was based on just Google search, referrals. But like it was primarily Google search and reviews.
So what's to say that they're not going to push, big companies?
They are
push them out, and then these
little
guys.
You'll see sponsored AI overview results. You'll see that just like Google. I know that's going to happen. It's the only logical thing that they're going to do. But then you're going to now not be able to trust that overview. So it's going to be a weird world we're going to see. I mean, what is it? This is one of the questions. What does it look like in 2028? So in a couple years, now what's going to happen? Who's responsible when AI steers you to a bad product? And was that bad product steering paid for by the bad product? You just don't know. So things are going to get if it's not transparent, and I'm a person where I don't like a lot of oversight and regulation.
I don't like it either. I don't like.
And at the same time, it's like
I like to have a little bit of freedom in it.
Yeah.
And kind of play.
Like,
I know you're smart AI. I know you're pretty smart.
Yeah.
But let me try a little dab a little with you with your ideas and ways to do the campaigns compared to or workspace to what I can do on this side and kind of evaluate. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this. This got a little better result.
Yeah.
But again, you're going back. You're going back to the budget.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have a little bit of budget to play and to get yourself out there. I mean, it's the way of the world right now.
So one of the tools I use is Perplexity, which I was telling you, this helps us generate these agendas. Even it's putting together all this research for me. It's getting all the sources with the links so I can verify the accuracy of the information. Here's a good fact that it falls right in line with what we're talking about. Perplexity just said that they will not be doing an advertising model, which means they will not give away the platform for free and let sponsors persuade the results. They only will be a paid platform. I love that. I actually wish the whole world operated like that. And I know that sounds crazy for people who love free services, but I would pay, I do pay for Gmail actually because of my storage, but I would pay for services. I would pay the price, if it's fair, to not have ads, to not have my data used and stolen and retargeting me. I would pay happily. Facebook, I would play every platform I use. If it's free now, I would pay to remove all that crap out of it. I really would. I mean, and it's not, as long as it's fair, but think about it like this. If Facebook, who has, I don't even know how many users they have now, 3 billion or 2 billion
crazy
or something crazy.
I just say crazy B.
Yeah, actually, we're going to look it up. How many users does Facebook have? I was right, 3 billion, 3.07 billion. Imagine this, 3.7 billion. Imagine if everybody just paid $3 a month ad-free experience. They're making $1 trillion. They'll be making 90 million or $90 billion off their user base, and you would never get an ad. That'd be sweet. $3 a month, $36 a year.
That's
worth it. No ads.
Hulu.
Right. So it's like, I don't know. Like I look at things a little bit different in that sense, but I like that about Perplexity. I'm happy to pay them. I'm going to be doing Claude Cowork next, and if whoever's better is the winner for me. What I like about Perplexity is that they do use Claude and Google and OpenAI. So you do get if one is better as something than the other, you get them all.
Well, I think aren't all three of them doing that to each other?
No, OpenAI only uses their models. Gemini only uses Gemini.
Okay, but the Perplexity explained. Perplexity was going to go to Gemini and ask
So Perplexity,
or is it generating its own within
it generates, no. So Perplexity doesn't have its own large language model. So what Perplexity does is it's basically like a software that gives you an interface that you can use any other model, like a lot of different models are in there. And basically its job is to structure your prompt to help, and then help the system assign tasks to different models, which creates an agentic experience with those models. And then it follows up with them, and then it also recalls the memory. So it has its own built-in like MCP that helps. So instead of you having to go to OpenAI, figure out how to set up an MCP and then run it, you can go to Perplexity. It's all built into everything, and it's using the best of all the models, and it's using them together. So if, like, let's say OpenAI is better at like long-form research than Claude, which is better at coding and creating dashboards and finding online links to things, it'll use the best of all of it and put it all together for you. So it's good. Claude Computer or Claude Cowork is the one that can actually use your apps on your computer. And the demo that I saw that intrigued me the most, because I do a lot of content stuff, is I watched a demo where the user had a batch of photos, which happens to me all the time. I'll get like 200 photos from a photo shoot, and I need them resized. And I have tools that'll do batch resizing, and it'll shrink them down. But it also has an ability to look for the right crop. And so what this person did is that it took the folder and it went into Perplexity, or Claude, Cowork, and it said, go through this folder, and based on standard photography editing, look for the subject matter and crop each individual image so that the image is the best portrayal of that that shot.
That shot, yeah.
And then resize the image also, and then export it and put it back into the folder, into a new folder called resized. And literally, it's like no problem. It opened up Adobe Photoshop. It went and found the folder that it was talking about. It dragged in one, resized, redid, and then you just saw it just doing it, saving them. That would take maybe an hour or two. And what you can do with the computer is you can just walk away, or you can open up another browser window and do something else while it's doing its stuff in the background. So I watched it do multi-hour task on its own, and then I literally another podcast I listened to. It's called like AI. I can't remember what it's called. Two guys, one guy who's actually a professor at Harvard, the other guy's a young guy. I can't remember his name either. A Canadian guy, but he has 170 different podcasts out there that a lot of them are just AI generated content podcasts. So he's dabbling with this big thing, and YouTube channels or headless YouTube channels. And he said that he has multiple production people that have to cut them up, take the podcast, cut it into short form, put it on different places. And so he wanted to pull, but he uses a lot of distribution channels. So he might use like Podbean and Spotify and Podcast or Casted, or there's all these different podcasting services and distribution channels. And he has accounts at all these different ones, right? So he has 170 different podcasts at, let's say, 20 different distribution channels. And one of them being like RSS.com, which is an really old one as well. And he's like, yeah, so basically I would have to have this guy, Matt, who's his editor. He's like, he'd have to go into one. He's like, I wanted to pull a report of like the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days of all the different ones. He's like, but then I really wanted a historical one where it was from when the podcast started. And he's like, in some of these older platforms or even the newer platforms, they don't give you a dashboard where it's easy to see your data, and they don't give you historical data up to a certain point. So he literally went into Claude Cowork, and this is a non-technical dude like me. I mean, I'm fairly technical, but not when it comes to coding. And he literally went into Claude Cowork and asked it to. It said, "Hey, I've installed you. You have permissions to go into all these distribution accounts that I have. Here's all the username and passwords. Go in, and I need all of the."
That? Give all your emails and passwords.
It sounds scary. He said that. He's like, I wasn't comfortable doing it, but I wanted to do it. And really, in this podcast,
I'm kind of old. I'm still not feeling it right now.
Well, wait till I tell you about the ramp card.
I still keep mine in.
I know.
Password, blah, 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 hide a book, put it in the safe.
So he said that he let it start doing its thing, it took like an hour, and he watched it. And what's so unique and different about Claude Cowork versus most other agentic ones is because Claude is the model, which is the #1 coder out there. It literally can code like any coder. Like it can build software like on the fly. It literally built its own. They're called Python scripts. A Python script is like basically a piece of code, like an equation that searches and takes action and then stores the data and then searches and takes, and it does it until completion.
Right.
It literally created Python scripts for each one of the different distribution channels so that it could pull the data in from far enough back in an efficient way without clicking buttons. It didn't even have to click buttons once it was in the account. It was able to seek out the information from the source code through the login credentials and create a Python code that could scrape it all. And within an hour, he had a dashboard coded that was visual, animated, with toggle buttons to change like the views, historical data toggles. He's like, I've never thought that something like that was possible. He's like, you hear of AI doing complex things and workflows, and you never see it do it, and it checks itself. So if it comes into an error, it'll find a way to wiggle its way out and fix it. When I first started using coding models, I was using multiple, like Lovable. Have you heard of Lovable? Or so there's like Lovable, there's Bolt, there's Genius, which is not Steve Wozniak one, yeah, and and then there's Replit, which is another good one. Where those are basically they're agentic coding models that help you to build apps or software or websites with AI. I was trying to build a SaaS product myself, which is Tivo, which, by the way, notivo.co, it's an awesome review management software, and I found that it's better to find developers that can do it. But I originally had tried to start doing it myself, and so I used 3 different ones because I wanted to know which one would do it the best. The first one did the login screen perfect, but then the login wasn't working, and then it had to fix the login, so then the login worked, and then I get into the dashboard, and then this little module isn't working, and then where's my dark mode button that I asked it to do, and then the next one, oh, it did perfect login screen, and perfect this, but now where's this? Each one had a flaw and a fault and wouldn't fix itself. I had to find the fault and point it out, and then it would fix it, and one time it didn't fix it, it couldn't fix it. So this was a year and a half ago. I freaking gave up. I was like, okay, developer, costs me money, but I know it'll be done because guess what developers do? They come across a bug, they fix it. Like that's like what they do. Claude Cowork is that new developer. It is okay, let me try to create this. Oh, shoot, I can't do that. I'm gonna try this. Oh, you know what? There isn't a tool that can do this, so I'm going to create a tool that can do this. I'm going to create a Python script code that scrapes CSS and mirrors this, and it does all this weird stuff that I don't know how to do, and it solves the problem. So I think that is like that's the world we're getting into, where you literally can have software that is written on the fly to fix problems for your business. Like.
You got me on that one.
It was cool. Yeah, sorry, I went on a rant on that one.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, my bad. So
Perplexity,
cool. Claude Cowork, cool. Next topic, Adweek, which is coming up. 10 AI marketing trends for 2026. AEO, by the way, is the next acronym. I just heard that on Neil Patel's thing from his co-host. AEO, which is Answer Engine Optimization, which is a lot like GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. And then, of course, there's search everywhere optimization and search engine optimization. There's all kinds of these silly 3-letter acronyms. But at the end of the day, what matters is the models are being disrupted because they're changing the way that, people are changing the way that they search for things. So let's look at the Adweek one, because Adweek is like one of the biggest advertising websites out there that goes over like different stuff. Work identity will break before org charts. That's a big thing too. AI first, workflow. So I think that it goes back to Jensen, the CEO of NVIDIA. He was quoted saying that it's not AI that's going to take your job, it's people that know AI. You know, and we're living it right now. Like we're living in a place in marketing and advertising and social media management and all these things.
We've had to jump into it faster than anybody else because we're the ones that are changing things, or it's changing around us.
Correct.
It will go into society once the robots come in.
I know. Yeah.
I mean,
But we have to know what's happening in our market because, you know, and people are getting, the solicitations are increasing. You know, I manage websites. And so I see contact form submissions that come into websites. And so I'm always blind CC'd on the contact forms because I need to see if there's spam coming in. And if there's a lot of spam coming in, I have to try to change spam filters. One thing that I've noticed over the last year is the AI agentic email marketing, outbound marketing people are hammering businesses. All in Mojave County, you know, whether it's a Facebook message, Instagram DM, or an email.
I insist that some of the businesses do that. You know, the doctors and the physical therapists get their business through the email blasting like that or through that.
It's true, and
but if you have an AI doing it, one less person on the payroll,
right?
One more design. I mean, it's just shooting out one less person. Cheaper way to go. $400-$500 for this thing. I'll run a year on a camp. Anyway.
No, it's true. You know, so the top 10 takeaways from Adweek was work identity will break before orgs do. So AI is eroding the middle layer of marketing faster than most leaders admit. The damage will not show up like mass layoffs immediately, but role confusion, eroding confidence, quiet dissension. Like people are going to start getting worried, so they're going to start trying to either jump ship or start their own things. When an AI agent
well, they're kind of doing that now. They're kind of...
They are, yeah.
Or that's why you see them dabbing in AI. Excuse me.
Big one, AI native creative will flood the market and devalue good ideas. And that's what we're seeing. AI slop. AI slop. We're seeing it all over the place.
GPT and
I just saw an AI
flyers.
slop. Dude,
Stop doing it.
I saw an AI slop on a digital billboard driving up from Needles.
What?
It was literally an AI poster looking thing.
So... people that are doing marketing they're falling into the same trap.
Yes, all of it. You're going to start seeing them in the shopper. I have the shopper right here somewhere where it looks pretty much the same every single month. It's going to continue to look the same.
I don't need a graphic designer anymore.
No,
I have this guy.
Just design
all my stuff looks like the same in the magazine. Anyway, just going on there.
AEO, GEO, we already talked about that. Smart marketers are going to shift to discrete AI tools and connected workflows. So that's big. Connected workflows is just, you know, connecting your AI to tools that you're already using, like your Google Drive or your Gmail or Slack if you use it, stuff like that. Leadership quality will become the largest performance variable. I think that's going to be big. AI, I don't think people are going to ever want some type of, I mean, not for a long time, an AI head role in a position in a business. I think you always want that person, the human being that understands your brand better, to be the one that's managing the AI agents versus the other way around. So I think that'll become really important. I was talking to someone this morning who is a marketing director for a company, and his big concern is that AI it's like it's doing two things at the same time. It's making his employees seem smarter because it can do a lot to help with customer relationship management. So the people that they're dealing with, they're able to use AI tools to help respond and craft emails. But it's also dumbing them down. Where what happened that he's been noticing, and this is a big company he works with, that is the service that they're using now internally is used at multiple franchises around the country. It comes in and it gives you this digestible summary of the customer. The salesperson is supposed to read it and understand it so they can get back to the person and help craft it. What he's noticing is that the person is not even reading the summary because they're so used to not having to double check the work of the AI that they're skimming it and they're not understanding the needs of the customer, and then they're going and responding almost like they didn't. It's almost like they're missing.
They didn't even read it.
So then the customer is now believing this, what the heck? I said I didn't want that. I wanted this, and why are they sending me that? So he's seeing it as like, oh, this is great because it's going to help this. He's like, but now I think we're going to have a problem where the humans are going to, it's almost like there's like a movie, I think, where, Wall-E.
Wall-E.
All the human beings just get fatter and fatter and lazier and lazier and dumber and dumber.
Right.
Because the less you work out your muscles, the weaker you get. The less you use your brain, the more that you don't read things in long form, the less you're able to use these types of services. So I think that's going to be a big thing. So the people that can continue to be leaders in these businesses are the ones that are continue. Use AI, but don't use it as a crutch. Use it as a tool. CMOs, chief marketing officers, will be forced into fewer and harder strategic bets. The era of hedging endless experiments is ending because experimentation is no longer a strategy. There won't be enough resources or patience for it. So yeah, and that's a big thing too. And GaryVee talks a lot about this. He talks about the back in the day, he's like, the old way of marketing is like spending all this money on production and creating this vision of your commercial, your ad, and spending all this money.
Corporations right now are doing the big flip too. I mean, right now they're still spending. I do believe they're doing it still.
Oracle's laying off 30,000 people.
They're like, woo, let's cut it down. We don't need actors. We don't need this. We don't need that.
Correct.
I think I can't pin it as a AI, but I saw a commercial on TV. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a Jurassic Park one where he's telling about, I think it's, I'm not going to say that.
Right. Alan Grant guy,
yeah,
I think
with those two, they're in it, but they have their character, the real live guy.
Yeah. Like,
but
what the heck?
I'm like looking at him all, that looks AI a little bit driven.
Well, yeah, and so that's the beauty of AI is it's going to create more affordability for content creation. If it's done right, it can be actually really cool. And then the second part of the beauty of AI is the platform is going to decide what works and what doesn't work. So like if you put out so the old way, so this is what GaryVee talks about. He's like, the old way is you would do this commercial, it costs $1 million in production, actors, sets, scenes, cameras, editing. You're making a bet. And then you're putting it out there on the air and forcing it in front of people, not knowing if it's going to convert or not. The new way is that you can, instead of spending $1 million on one thing, you can spend 1,000 on one thing or 100,000 on 20 things and push it to the platform and see, based on the algorithm, which piece works.
So a lot of times I'm seeing with the big companies is they're doing multiple campaigns.
Correct.
And then they're
the A/B testing.
A/B testing. I don't do it.
Yes.
I don't believe it. I don't believe in it whatsoever. I've not even dabbled in it because I don't believe in it. What I do believe is that if you're putting out great content, you're going to take your 8 weeks worth of content. You're going to go back and see where the content worked for you. That's the one that you're going to put in there, the campaign, because you already saw that the interest was there.
Right.
And it was taking off pretty decent. I don't care if it's reaching over 1,000 to 1,500 views with a good amount of comments. That's a no-brainer right there. You don't need hundreds of dollars with 5 campaigns running and then pick them all down. It's not going to work anymore. That's the old way.
Right. You always take what's working organically.
Yes. Grab it and use it. That's the important part. I mean...
yeah, no, I agree 100%. That's another big GaryVee.
I went on a rampage again.
No,
I totally believe that. I mean, I've done enough campaigns within the 15 years of doing them that this is the only way that the small guys have a chance to even play with the big guys.
Yep.
So
let's look at, speaking of the guy, right? So let's just see what he is saying on this one.
The biggest opportunity to build massive brand is to go organic social. When you normally get 800 views, when something gets 57,000 views, 570,000 views, 5.7 million views, knowing what to do with that creative is why I call it the mid-funnel. Sending it down to the lower funnel and making that a performance ad, sending it up, if you've got the budgets, to CTV or making it the campaign or even the commercial. Mary Roots Organics, Poppy, Liquid Death, many others in this room represented at this.
So you heard it from the guy, right?
Yeah.
This is a worldwide marketing leader, thousands of employees, multiple offices around the world, working with big brands like Pepsi and Coke and Budweiser.
And the small guy.
And small guys. They got smaller teams too. But he's an operator that operates in the business, not just on the business, and he likes data. And so so when he's saying, hey, this is what we're seeing works the best, create good organic. You get one that pops off, you take that, you convert it to ad, there you go. That's the formula for performing.
And still, you might have, some, not saying, but some good content creators that create stuff for you the stuff is really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't hit. It might not even be your creative.
Right.
It might be the wording that you're using.
Yeah.
You're not pulling that creative into your wording to match up, because that's a big thing now. Is your creative has to match the words, because they're seeing it.
Yeah.
Now they're going to read it.
Yep.
That's 2.5 seconds.
100%.
All right.
Next one. This is a big one. Social media. So now we're really shoving into our forte here. So Instagram rewrites the algorithm. And this is very recent that this happened. DM shares are now #1 ranking signal. So sharing is caring in Instagram now, not the old way of likes.
So sharing,
reposting a DM.
Well, a lot of times I like to see some stuff that I've done 6 months ago that did really good.
Yeah.
Instead of recreating the wheel that did really good, throw it back in there. They say, digest it. Not everybody saw it.
Yeah. And here, it officially confirmed, Instagram officially confirmed after Hootsuite and Buffer, which are the two largest social media publishing tools, that shares via direct message. So you share to your family member, you share to your friend. So that's why, if you're doing a campaign, if they share it to anybody, that matters more than a like on that post, which is crazy to think. But that's the way the algorithm is changing.
You got to remember, we're talking about...
Brought two people together. That's what it considers bringing two people together.
So you got to remember the word, social media. It was designed...
Right. We talked about
this. The first thing was communicating with
people
family
with people, not AI with people, or AI without AI, or business with business.
Answering...
And businesses, you got to be careful of... If your business is too cold and too service-oriented and it's not about the people, you also will miss.
You'll lose it.
No one's going to share it. No one's going to message their mother about... they will message their mother the Anheuser-Busch little horse trying to follow daddy horse.
Right.
But they're not going to message about the beer cracking open and spilling on the, you got to identify the people of your brand.
And believe it or not, when you able to identify, this is a really key thing here, is once you identify with your community or within your community, your audience, and this is how you do it. I mean, this is how I'm doing it for the last 8 years. I'm going back into the comments and seeing what they're saying within the comments. That's going to help your creative later on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This goes right to the next part. What you
Anyway.
just said, I know. I was listening to you. Right here, new platform data in March. So 2026 quantifies what many suspected. Brands that actively reply to comments see dramatic engagement increases. The number of platform, Threads is high, but we don't really use those, but 42%. LinkedIn 30%, Instagram 21% increase in engagement, and then 9% on Facebook.
Huge part of it.
Getting into those comments, which is something I never like to do because, I've always but I'm not the brands that I work with, and so I've always kind of hoped they would get into their stuff. But even on the B, I just let people bicker. If they're going to bicker about some topic or some article, I don't want to put in my 2 cents.
I don't have that opportunity.
There's enough people
Steve,
that
I don't have that opportunity. I have to go in and make sure.
As the brand because you're an ambassador for the brands.
Right. I have to get in there and talk to these people, or at least like their comment, or give them some kind of feedback, because it's actually scoring us higher when we do it.
9% on Facebook, 21% on Instagram.
I've seen huge results come back.
That's awesome.
As I'm doing it for the clients.
That was good timing. That was good. That's the snip right
there. I check that out.
Format, performance data, what is actually working? So here's a big one too, okay? Instagram Reels, 36% more reach than static posts, but only 12% more engagement. Instagram Carousels, 12% more engagement than Reels, despite lower reach. So that's a new one. So the biggest change in LinkedIn, or in Instagram, was carousels are overtaking engagement than Reels because people are bombarded with Reels now.
Right.
So when you come across a carousel,
you don't mind it. You gotta go this way.
Yeah, carousels could tell a story horizontally, one swipe at a time. Tell your story horizontally.
That's pretty good.
That's a cool little factoid.
I've been seeing a lot of the carousels pop. Well, your bigger creators are actually doing this now.
Yeah.
So I was looking at it going,
It's back.
They got something. It went flat.
Look at LinkedIn, 300%, a 3-time higher engagement.
Well, whatever going on, something's going on LinkedIn. There's just big things happening.
They're exploding
within
because
LinkedIn.
they're still so strong as a business community. And I think that in marketing right now, a really hot area is B2B. B2C is what all the people we work with.
Right.
except for one of my clients, my Ohio client, they're a B2B. So we have LinkedIn, I do LinkedIn stuff for them. And we have LinkedIn ad campaigns that we run. And it works very well because it is just business people who are decision makers for companies or entrepreneurs or, municipal workers. They are there, and so it's good to see carousels are that high. We haven't tried carousels yet, so we're going to take away.
Carousels, well, just bring it back.
Yeah.
Carousels were really doing well for me when I was working.
Back in the day. We used to
I
all the
think
time.
before the big C word, I think it was actually, and then after 2020, it kind of went flat. Now, the carousels I'm seeing now, or I've looked into designing, they're a little bit different than the old ones where you had the carousel and then you have like a feed through it. Now they're putting like a main picture or something to get you started on the lower carousel on the bottom where you can bring it up. It's kind of a weird, I think I saw it on Instagram is where I saw it. Either Instagram or TikTok, where it's a totally different looking carousel, which...
Well, you can do ad carousel. Was it an ad carousel or was it a regular carousel?
The regular carousels are the ones you just go five photos or 5 videos and you scrub through them just like a story. The other one, these are new looking carousels.
Interesting.
Really interested. I mean, I'm going to be looking into it this weekend to look at it because I like the number I'm seeing on that.
Yeah, you got to take action when you see data like that.
And that costs money. It's not free to do carousels in that kind of format. Is a little bit. So you're looking at a budget. So when you're dealing with that, remember that.
Yep. Next up, TikTok Shop. We were just talking about that because of the what's not.
Amy's doing great on the whole shopping online
live
thing.
Shopping is that's another GaryVee kind of thing that he saw it happening in China and it was huge success over there. And he was just waiting for it to start popping off here a couple years ago, and people are making a huge living on it.
You got
$1 trillion in sales. They're trending. That is insane. Estimated trajectory $1 trillion, which represents almost 15% of the entire global marketplace economy. That is crazy.
Now, dealing with the one, I kind of turned on a friend to this online stuff, shopping. It was what's not. What's not, I think. Is it what's not or what's on? No, it's what's not.
What's not.
What's not.
Yeah.
So she was really good at talking with people, and she was really into makeup. I said, hey, why don't you try this? If you got a couple of $1,000 to get some materials to start selling your makeup brand, stay yourself. Stay south. She's a southern girl, so she had that bail thing going on. She's making $1,000, $2,000 on this thing. And she just started out, and the community within it, I've never seen such a community like jump on with her and back her up and say, you know what, we like you and you're doing a great job. So now you got these big guys that are on all these platforms helping the little ones even succeed.
That's cool.
I mean,
it's a really cool way. It's like the QVC of today.
Yeah.
I used to watch QVC, sometimes late at night, and I just couldn't get to sleep. And that was when I was, 15, 16, 17 years old, and you got you're watching DirecTV's Home Garden TV and QVC, and it's like, oh, that's a cool thing, like a little race car or whatever the hell it was.
Whatever they were selling back then.
And they would just talk about it for so long sometimes, you just feel convinced at one point where you're like, this is really cool.
I mean,
this is the new age of that.
New age, and I see them bowling it down. So you saw those long introductions.
Yeah.
The shorter the introduction, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm selling this for $1. I have 10. Go.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Buy
Isn't
it.
that crazy?
And they just brought it.
Cool.
Anyway, that's a really cool thing to get into if you're looking into.
If you need a side gig and you want to make some extra money, there's a lot of affiliate signups where you sign up as an affiliate, which gives you the ability to sell their product. They'll send you samples. They'll then hook you into a link where people can then buy the product directly from the creator of the product, and you get paid as a commission. Or you drop ship it yourself. There's a couple different options, but it is a great way for. And in fact, I think that it makes sense that that's probably why we're seeing so many hiring signs everywhere. We're seeing hiring signs at entry-level positions at everywhere. Walmart's and Home Depots and every single gas station and food place.
Well, everybody's trying it.
I think if it's trending $1 trillion, I think that you're seeing a lot of people, and I bet we have a lot of people locally that you don't even know they're on there.
Doing it.
Next up, social media platforms that are now search engines. So that's what we're talking about with GEO, SEO, all that crap. That stuff's for websites, but also now the platforms, the social platforms, are now the search engines, which is why you hear search everywhere optimization, you hear AEO, which is answer engine optimization, because the platforms are now search.
I think all your platforms are.
They're all becoming search things.
I mean, I think the main one at the time was TikTok. Actually had a good search engine, but the other two, Instagram and the rest, weren't quite as good. Now they're almost about the same.
Toe to toe, and they're all trying to get better and better about giving you the best results. So if you're traveling, you go to TikTok. You're in Phoenix, you're looking for a restaurant, or you're in Mesa, you're looking for a restaurant, you type in restaurants near me, it already knows where you are. Boom, all of a sudden you start seeing.
You got BBQ right there, man, right there.
Yeah. And then if you're on Instagram, same thing. And it's prioritizing that hyper local search result with good quality content.
I mean, we're only throwing it out because we were actually on the freeway. We saw it. It was an old barbecue on it.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, we need to check that place out.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. And it was driven by that.
Yeah, Barbecue Mesa.
Yeah, do it.
So users are treating TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit like search engines. Certainly Gen Z and millennials. More Gen Z than millennials. I think I'm close to a millennial. I can't remember.
I don't know, what year are you?
81.
Ooh.
What's the company?
Yeah,
No, I'm
Gen Z. You're Gen Z.
Oh, I'm Gen Z. And millennial's the new one. Or
Yeah,
the newer one.
Yeah, the newer one.
Okay, so yeah.
I think so. I'm an X.
And I really still am a silly Google person. I wanted to be, I like that one. So I was like,
X. Oh, don't give a
sounds
shit.
cool.
Yeah.
On-platform SEO, keyword captions, hook structures. This is all important. And this is another thing that I mentioned in my last week's episode, which is big. Instagram posts are now indexed by Google. This is as of literally March 24th, I think.
So are they shoving them into Google is what you're saying?
Google basically is now reading all Instagram posts and using the captions and keywords as indexable links on Google.
When I was searching for my company, I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah.
And I saw all of a sudden, boom, all the videos, little videos are showing all over. I was like, wow.
Sometimes for a long time, they didn't want to show any other potential competitor.
Right,
but then
because
they don't realize
to keep you on the platform.
Yeah, but now I think they realize that if people are going to not find what they want, they're going to look elsewhere. So might as well keep them looking in your platform, even if they find someone else. It's kind of like with Facebook, and you put a link on something, and when you click the link, what it used to do 10 years ago is it would open up your browser on your phone. Now it opens an internal browser, which is why you always have to re-log into whatever you're trying to log into. It does that to give you what you want, which is unlike Instagram, which just blocks the hyperlink. You can put a link, but you can't click it.
Well,
Facebook will allow you to click the link, but it'll leave you in the browser. It'll leave you in their own internal browser in the app so that you are not off the platform. But Instagram, they don't do that.
So the crazy thing I ran into doing campaigns and reels on all these platforms is that if you're going to they don't want you to even put a link within those reels anymore.
Right, I know. I try to do comments and stuff.
It's going to drive it down.
Yep.
Yeah, put it in the comments. You'll get it there. But
that's at least one way to do it. And sometimes not putting in the comment for a while.
People are pretty smart right now.
Yeah.
And they hit the top. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
eliminate the whole logo in your platforms.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, because your logo is going to be on everything on top.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everybody's hitting the top. Yeah. Then you get all your information. So a lot of this I think overreach, they're trying to eliminate that way.
Yeah, they want you to stay there and just be obsessed with the platform and all this stuff, Instagram Edit app, I haven't used that. That's a CapCut Challenger. So CapCut, of course, is TikTok owned, and it's a good video editor. It's free, right? I mean, all the features.
No, it's not free anymore. Not free anymore.
You gotta pay for premium.
You gotta pay. You gotta pay for it. Period.
Even
There's no freebies.
How about
they give you a small. I mean, they'll let you do the 7 day. No more.
Oh, okay.
We used to back 2 years ago, a year ago, we were able to, but now no.
So Instagram edits. I wonder if that one's free.
Huh?
I wonder if Instagram's
TikTok edits are free.
Well, no, Instagram edits is their new app. It's supposed to compete with CapCut.
I haven't even played with that. I got it. I downloaded it. I hear it was coming.
I feel like I saw it. Yeah.
I was going to do a touch and feel to see if I liked it.
I bet you it's free. I bet it's free so that they could try to go after CapCut.
Well, yeah. Everybody's trying to grab CapCut right now.
So that's kind of a cool thing. I don't know. Anybody in the audience played around with edits? Let us know.
Let us know in the
feedback.
comments. We'd definitely like to hear about it.
Cool. Okay. Viral clip stuff. Let's see. Let's see if we got another video that we can watch. So let me just watch this one. Here's another cool one from GaryVee about content types.
My main man.
Is because you suck at it. Why are you not popping off? Because your content's not good. Like, what do you want from me? You're just not winning right now, bro. The algorithm, aka human beings. I love everyone who's like the algorithm. You know what the algorithm is? The customer. The customer thinks your shit is whack. Now the question becomes,
I love it.
Too many people are fucking artists about this shit. They think their subjective opinion of their taste is the punchline in a world where most of the people that think that don't realize they look like everybody else. And you think that's the punchline without looking at the analytics of what time to post, how many words should be in the like, no math. All ego art, no practical math. That's okay if you want to make yourself happy, but don't fucking cry about being shadow banned or the algorithm because you stink.
You know, it's like,
I see it all the time.
It reminds me of billboards, people just want to see their face up there and they don't care that no one else cares. They just care that they saw their face up there on the billboard and they get to drive by.
I always tell my new clients, if you have a billboard, you got to switch your billboard money into something that's going to reach thousands of people and actually you can get the data on the back.
Yeah. I have a client that had a billboard running. They had a couple different ones. And I went in to meet with her and I was like, oh yeah, I saw the billboard moved over to a different street. Yeah, we thought it was a little better. I'm like, yeah. I was like, have you ever looked into the effectiveness of it? No. I'm like, check this out. Completely unbiased. Let's go to ChatGPT and let's just ask it.
Right.
And I literally just said, hey, ChatGPT, and I gave a little bit of details of the business. Like, I'm a small business. This is what we sell. This is what we do. This is our target audience. We have a fairly limited budget, under X amount of dollars. What are the absolute worst things I should be doing for my advertising and my marketing strategy? And the number one was billboards. It was billboards, newspapers, radio. All the traditional were on the top of the list. If you have a limited budget, you should never throw your money away in those areas. You should always dedicate it to digital because you have to play where people are spending their time. They are driving home from work or driving to work. Believe me, they are not looking at your sign and thinking to themselves, I need to write that down or take a picture of that billboard while I'm driving or remember that message. That they don't care. They're on their way to work. They're thinking about the
billboards are ego.
They don't want to be there.
It's just an ego-driven thing. They see that.
So that's content.
People hey, it's great. Right. But it's great. I have a business. I see myself. The whole community sees me on this billboard. But does it create a sale? Now, you might get one.
Yeah, right.
I've heard some of my clients try the billboard because they just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw that $750 to $1,500 out for that 30 days. Go ahead and do that. See what it does.
Yeah.
And this is how you do it, because most people put the business number, is get a backup number where it can be digital.
You remember all these things?
Yes, I did. Where you can get the information. You can track it. That way you know your $750 or $1,500 is working. These guys are throwing their business number on there. They're getting the phone calls, but they don't know where they're coming from.
They never ask.
They never. Your phone numbers are within your social media. But you'll see the impact that social media does within your business within 90 days. That's what I get out of it is when they hire me on, they say, well, what can you give me? I'm not a social media marketer. I'm a profit engineer. And I truly believe that you giving me 90 days will be able, the first 30 is to get you on track and then pull your audience together so we know what your audience is interested in, because then from there we can share and get out there and then take our campaign money, some of that $1,500 to $750 into your campaign. Now you got people walking in your door buying your stuff. It's a true, I've done it for 15 years and it works. It truly works. Some people don't get it.
No, they don't. And you can't blame them. They're good at what they do. They're good at making their pizzas or building their walls or building whatever they're doing.
I work for a small, I have a small family business that I've worked with since they opened. They have not spent any money on the shoppers or magazines or the billboards or whatever. He is, or I should say the family is number one
Yeah.
within itself. They're huge.
Yeah.
They get out there,
Yeah.
and he spares very little money to get the impact he wants. He always says to me, "I don't want to be too busy."
Right. He wants to make sure
What do
you
you
can take
mean?
care of his
I'd rather
customers.
you too busy
I
than
know.
not busy enough
Yeah.
because I want to know your data because I already know what
Yeah.
your analytics are telling me.
Yeah.
You made the money.
Yeah.
So do you want to go higher
Right.
or lower? Going higher, you have to increase your budget.
Right.
Understand that these platforms are not free anymore like they were in 2010,
Right.
where you can post your business.
Right. All
and
you want. People would see it.
Yeah,
You could do
everybody would see it.
You could do it. Remember we used to do the glasses filled with pennies. And it would
Yes.
get 10,000 views on just a post about how many pennies is in
Pennies
this
in
jar.
yeah.
Remember that? That was crazy. And
That
the
was-
page didn't even have that many followers. Maybe 5,000 followers, 2,000 followers, and you'd get 10, 20,000 views on something like that.
Right.
You can't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah. The days have changed.
You're lucky to get 200 on
Yeah.
something like that without spending some money.
Right.
Anyway.
SEO, GEO. So this is a big update that happened just a few days ago, 5 days ago. Google just did a core update change, which is the first broad core update this year for 2026. SEM Rush, which is, if you don't know, is search engine marketing or search engine. I can't remember what the heck that stands for, but it's like they're the largest website that has data about
What is
this.
it going down? Google's first core update is.
Yeah, segment 4.
Okay.
SEM is tracking a 9.3 out of 10 volatility score, one of the highest ever recorded. Volatility means that websites that are being monitored had the highest either drop or increase in traffic in month over month over month. So it went up, and then it went down, and then it went up again. So it's actually funny, I got a text message, and I hope she watches this podcast. I'll tell her to, because I'm not going to mention her by name, but I got a text message from someone saying, like, hey, we noticed that our March was actually lower than our February. We're not sure why. Well, not only did Google do a core update change, and they were testing the change before March 27th, that's just when they officially announced it. Instagram made their changes to carousels. All the platforms started doing some changes on their algorithms in March. And so when you manage as many pages as we manage, you can see fluctuations together. It's not like one goes way up and they're all way down. They all ebb and
They
flow
all
together.
ran about the same.
So you could see that there's changes happening, and some of the changes are even also more accurate reporting. That's one thing I've been noticing as well. Like, so there was a while where like Facebook and Instagram, man, they would say, oh, you had 100,000 reach. It's like, did we though?
Well,
And so some of the numbers weren't accurate.
17,000 views,
Yeah.
and you have 4,000 reach. I'm
Right.
like, wait a minute, that's
So they
is
saw
that
4
accurate?
times. Yeah, they each saw them 2 or 3 times, 2.5 times the same post. They watched it over and over.
I would love my material to
I know.
get
So
constant love.
I think that the AI, as it advances, the AI that they're using in their own systems are trying to take effect. So this follows an unusually the spam update that happened on the 24th, 25th. That completed under 20 hours, the shortest spam update in Google history. So basically, everything is kind of getting realigned, and Search Engine Land had the best article, I think, on it. But if you are someone who does pay attention to your website traffic, your social traffic, don't always think that there is a person to blame, a content to blame. Think more of that the market shifts and the platforms are always readjusting. And don't just assume it's because of something like, oh, my content wasn't very good this month. Well, no, that wasn't it. It's because the platform started prioritizing an incentive to pay certain content creators for a different type of content, and so they had to push their content in the feed more often than your content organically, and since you don't have an ad budget, you got put into the bottom of the barrel because you're not paying to play. You're hoping your organic goes.
Basically,
so
I see
it's going
that.
to be part. It's going to be part of that ebb and flow, and so these are things that happen. We see it all the time on a large scale. You can see here's the previous core updates. I mean, almost every month. I mean,
every month.
They are making big changes so that they can keep people happy with the results. Zero click. This I talked about last time in the citability buzzword. 93% of Google AI mode queries never visit a website. Holy shit. So if you go onto Google and you click that AI mode button, so if you're in search, you're going to get the overview, but if you click AI mode, it gets rid of the search. It just is in AI mode. It's like a chat interface.
Right.
93, and it's suggesting you try it, which pisses me off. As soon as I load Google, it's like, want to try AI mode? It's like, no. So everybody said yes. Guess what? It never tells you want to try search mode again. It keeps you in AI mode.
You got to remember when you're doing this, when you click on that, it's going to take you where it wants to take you.
Exactly. Don't think it's not biased. There's people that spend money. Those sponsored ads are sitting somewhere in there.
Yeah.
93%. So, and this is why that's important.
That can actually hurt businesses.
Okay.
Huge.
This is where it ties right back in to GEO, AEO, SEO. It matters where you're posting your content because it's getting, Instagram is now being scraped by Google. Google owns Gemini, one of the largest AI models. Google is still known for search. Google is pushing AI mode. Google has Google reviews and Google business profiles, which I talk about all the time. I'm preaching this with no Tivo so much because it's so important to people. And now all of the fears that I've been trying to instill into people of like, hey, you got to understand how important this stuff is.
Well, we've been doing
starting to happen.
We've been doing this for at least 10 years for the B, right?
Yeah, I've been doing marketing since 2011. For the B, yes.
With the social media where we jumped in together and said,
17.
let's
So
do
this is year 9.
9 years.
Wow, it has been that long.
Wow, we're getting old.
Jesus, I guess so. So that is a scary reality, but not scary. Don't be afraid of it, but it's just like if you aren't paying attention to it, now is the time. 93%. So that means that whatever that result is on that query, they're going to just use that information. They're going, oh, what's their phone number? And call it, what's their email address? They're going to click it through the AI mode. They're not going to actually, go to a website link in a search result.
They're not going to let you look at the other ones. You got to look. I mean, you're going to trust here it is, and you're going to end up spending some money.
And look at look at this. Numbers are 60% of all
crazy.
Google searches don't even have a click.
Where'd you get this?
This is Avery.ai, 10 SEO trends for 2026. And 83% of queries with AI overview enabled end without a click. So that's even using the AI overviews. 93% of queries AI without a click. 60%. ChatGPT processes 2.5
ended without a click.
So they just got the answer from what it said. So they weren't necessarily trying to find your service or click on you. They just had a question, like a recipe to something, or how do I change my battery?
I can see how that works, but the one that deals with the business oversight on that one, what is that? Quotes of AI overview about.
It just means that they're not.
It's just it's the search, and people are not putting. Everybody's been doing Google search since
the beginning.
From the beginning. And the older folks, your newer millennials are trending more to what AI is doing. Us X's and Z's were the Z's are probably taking more to it than the X's, but I'm seeing a huge part of the Generation X jump out and say, okay, let's take this on. But the clicks, you're losing sales.
Yeah.
There's no.
Oh, 100%. And because or you're being cited. So this is why the last buzzword was called citability. So if you're showing up in the overview, if you are the result of the answer in the AI mode, that is your business being mentioned. You will earn brand trust because.
How do you do that, Steve? How do you do that?
You do that by having a rich website with content that is authoritative, expertise. There's enough of it. It's not just a landing page with very little information. Having schema markup, which is basically the structured data on your website, so it's easy for Google to scrape through it and know that you have question and answer, question and answer, question and answer in a frequently
asked
asked
question area. It's kind of funny you bring this up because I have a new
Yeah.
client that didn't have a website, and here I walked in and I said, "This is very important that we need a website." They're like, "No, they're saying it's irrelevant. I've been watching. I don't need a website." I go, "Okay, you don't have a website, but I want you to know the guy down the street. I've checked him out. Same company or same kind of business. He's got a website, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it's something that I can lead to. It's called the funnel. Again, we're funneling people in. And if you're using these GoDaddies that obviously don't always work during
No.
The click over,
Right.
I've had bad experience. I don't even do websites.
Yeah.
I just know when I'm on a GoDaddy
Right.
one because you can look at it and say, that's GoDaddy.
Yeah.
But generated ones that tell a little bit about a story. You're generating a funnel that does a click through, which will get you that buy.
Well, yeah,
they're going to come.
And certainly, as we're slowly moving into our keyword of today, agentic. When I say, "Hey, I've got a drain clog. How do I fix it?" and it gives me an answer, and I'm like, you know what? Will you just get me a local plumber? And it does the search. And you are a cited, authoritative website that has external linking to you, internal content, schema markup and structure, positive reviews, because you're working on a strategy to always maintain positive reviews. You're replying to reviews. You have an active social media that's being scraped by Google as well.
You need to slow down because you just said a lot there that is so important.
Your agentic agent, that agent that's going to be sitting in everybody's phone someday or sitting in Alexa, is going to find that plumber, Steve's Plumbing. And all right, I've booked you as Steve's Plumbing. He'll be here at 2 o'clock tomorrow. There is no, I've given you a list of 60 different plumbing. No, I told you to book one. And I expect you to book me the best one. And the best one is the one that is doing what I just said. So that's where you're going to start seeing this huge cliff of the do's and don't do's. You do it right. I mean, I'm not just making stuff up. I'm looking at data and statistics and saying, okay, this is what Google's chief search engine officer is talking about, of like how you can be more authoritative. What should you do? What are the best practices? No black hat crap, which is the way that people used to try to cheat the system and finding loopholes in the algorithm that is gone. AI is making,
like you just said, the algorithm
is
you.
Yeah.
It's no longer.
It's no more. It's real deal results. Do it right. Best practices.
Communicate.
And that's it, you know.
Just communicate with your.
And here's 5 core strategies that you just actually said. So how do you do it? Semantic context over keywords. AI models read meaning. Write concepts, not just search strings. Okay, so having depth to your content. Entity-centric content, define your business, your people. So that's part of the schema markup. There's actually this interesting thing called schema markup that literally is like, wherever your business information is listed, oh, it says schema markup right there. Entities with consistent schema markup. It's like, it's wherever your business information is listed, there's code that can, it's almost like if you could see the, like Matrix, you could see the code that's behind the little box of text. It like has this business information, local business information as like a string with colons and stuff, and then your business information is visible. It's like kind of like a hidden background thing that allows the LLM to scrape and see it in a way that's easier for it to digest and then give up to somebody else. Hugely important. Multimodal optimization. This is all good. I talked about this a long time ago. If you have a website, you should have videos. If you have videos, they should be on YouTube. If they're on YouTube, they should be embedded on your website. And having it transcribed on your website as a blog is the easiest way to quickly rank. I have a pet hospital out in Vegas that does this really well. For the first couple of years of working with them, I think I've been working on it for like 5 years now, they weren't doing that part of it, and they've just slowly been getting better and better and better, and now over the last like 3 months, now they're doing videos, they're getting them up to YouTube, I'm now embedding them on the website, attaching them to a blog, and we're starting to see the climb.
Any video I do, yes, and you will see it.
Yep.
I mean,
engagement feedback loops, earned media citations, that was last week's buzzword, everybody. Backlink signals, this is earned media 6.5 times more likely to be cited in AI answers than owned domains. What is earned media, Steve? Oh, the B.news. That is a website that is authoritative because the traffic, we have 50 to 60,000 unique people that go to it from a fairly large but still local radius of area. When we put an article or a website link to someone locally to their domain, that is more valuable than that domain could do for themselves, because it's us using our authoritative nature and saying, we trust these guys, that's why we're linking to them. That is what's being cited in those overviews. That's what's giving that influence, and that's why we use the B, that's why we still have the B. We don't have it because we love the news. You know, I don't love the news. What I love is I love being able to help small businesses by using that page to influence traffic to them and authority to them.
We've always done it.
We've always done it since 2017. Local and personalized signals, AI responses are increasingly localized. This is very true. If you're not establishing geographic relevance explicitly, you lose to your businesses that do.
Always.
Making sure that if you service the Bullhead, Kingman, Havasu area, that you have Bullhead, Kingman, and Havasu listed on your website as a service area and all the services inside of those.
Right.
Yeah, that's all contextual. That makes them understand. And then make sure that you have a Google Business Profile attached to each one of your geographies that you service, and that is rich with reviews and responses and GEO or SEO terms and key phrase terms in those reviews and responses, which is what Notivo does. All really easy, not easy stuff, but all things that can be done easily once you get used to making it part of your routine. This is all those AI crawler stuff. Same idea, you structure your site correctly, you will be able to be found easier. B2B, chatbots, chatbots is kind of interesting. Dual discovery, 50% of B2B buyers start in AI chatbots, not Google. I haven't seen that. We deal with more B2C, so we won't talk a ton about it, but for those that do have a B2B business where you're selling to other businesses, it is good to have a chatbot that's trained on your products and services so that if another business is just kind of interested in the stuff that you do, instead of them sitting there and spending an hour looking through your website, they'll just go to your chat and ask it questions, and that'll help convert. Half the people are doing it, so. All right, local business angle. All right, this is kind of the end sequence here. Local business angle. Agentic AI is not just Silicon Valley, it is your business. So I think one thing that happens around here, which is unfortunate, is that we end up being really late to trends in technology and business trends and marketing. People just don't adopt them as quickly here for some reason. We see it getting adopted on the East Coast and the West Coast, and then it's like it's coming in on us. And then Arizona, here we are, Mojave County.
Hey.
Oh, we should be going live on Facebook. 3 months after it was active, and you were using it.
It's kind of funny you say that because live right now, it makes you skyrocket.
I know it.
So tell about yourself. Talk about yourself. Talk about your business. Stop worrying about
what people
you're
think.
going to say or
how
what you look.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
You're a person, and you're going to look the same way when they walk into your business, a restaurant, or whatever the case may be. It's good to be you.
Yeah.
Because this is where your business will succeed on just live.
I like that. It's good to be you. I like that. That's a good one.
You know I come up with rhymes. I don't know why.
No, it's good. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this up while I'm still.
What do you got? So, you gonna show somebody something?
Yeah, this one right here. So AI agents for local services. So here's an example. Landscaping company in Lake Havasu deploys an AI agent today to monitor Google Map reviews. So check their competitors. Or their own reviews, monitor their reviews, auto draft responses, pull in a weekly rank check report, so checking how other competitors are doing, helps you follow up with leads that have come in through contact forms, schedule social media posts for a week, and all of this is done through an AI agent. So this is an example of a landscaping company that's able to use an AI agent. So, and here's the thing that is important about that. So Notivo.
So do you work with that company or
no?
It
was a general example. So Notivo.
Because I was ready to give them a shout out because any company that
I don't have any landscapers.
Either do I.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I have a really good landscaper, right?
Right.
He won't come over the dark side.
I know.
I have enough business.
I know, right?
I have enough.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Why?
But Notivo tries to solve that problem. So this is like my own software that I use with all of our clients. We also sell it as a standalone service that you can acquire. But this is just to give you an example. This part that I just read is pulling in from about 100 different websites, a whole bunch of different source data, right? And it's giving this as an example of something that you can do. And Notivo literally does exactly what it just said. It pulls in all the reviews. It helps you reply to reviews. It then will, when you're on your home screen, you can see, okay, this is the total reviews we have on Google. Here's the total on Yelp. Here's my ranking. This allows you to see, here's the keyword, barbecue restaurant, 5 kilometer radius. That middle dot is BBQ. They are the #1 placement, they're tied with these guys, in a 5-kilometer radius of their restaurant. This allows them on a weekly or monthly basis to see where they sit, or their competitors. They can then come down here and they can look, okay, how about the overall market? So this is not just the 5-kilometer radius. They're #3 in the entire market. That is huge. But small businesses, they just have been doing it right for a long time. You know, you can also see Google performance.
Well, they don't want to answer. Well, first thing off, when you're getting Google reviews, hitting the like button is, I thought it was a kind of a plus. Okay,
Yeah.
they're acknowledging it. I told them, why don't you just, when anybody gives, just to make it easy on you, because I know I see you doing it, instead of hit that like button and have a copy comment to those good reviews.
Yeah.
Have a copy comment that you can just throw in there.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to think about it, you're the owner,
Right.
so why don't you just come up with, on a bad review, I apologize for the inconvenience, But in these comments, I like how Tivo does, I know Tivo does, is now they're putting keywords in there, so now your AIs are picking up on those comments and seeing, like we got back earlier, is now they're saying, oh, they're communicating, they're doing social media, kind of like they're meeting halfway, and now you're going to get some ranking.
And you see that here. So this is the back end of the Talisman agent. So this is the agentic service that is literally reading the review. The first one's called an SEO agent. We actually have another one coming next Friday. We're launching our GEO agent. So this first one is SEO agent. So what it does is you put in your keywords, you set the type of response to the review you want to have: informal, professional, formal, short, long, normal, and you create a threshold for the automation. So we have it set to respond to all reviews. So a 1-star, it's going to respond to, but some businesses, they want to personally respond. They have the time to do it. So I would push it up till maybe this automatically does 3 stars, but a 2 or 1, that business owner is going to have to respond. This one, the business owner is very busy and says, I want it to respond to all of them, but I do take a look at it once a week and I'll try to like reach out to them, you know, if I know who they are, or that person will try to comment back on it. So this is an example. Now I want to show you what you just mentioned about the SEO keywords used back into the review. So this one's keywords: best barbecue, best steak, great happy hour. I want to show you what it's already done just today. So today's April 2nd. Today, someone left a review. It said, thanks for the 4 stars. We're glad you enjoyed the visit. Don't miss our new Mexican dishes. Perfect for date night happy hour. Oh, date night spot in Mesa. Great happy hour, Mesa. It's using the words to put them back into the reviews. Oh, here's another one. Best experience barbecues with us. That one didn't use a keyword. Didn't need to. Oh, here's one though. Date night. Great happy hour. So it's using them organically, and that's just today. Right? That's April 2nd, April 2nd, April 2nd. They get a lot of reviews because they're a very busy restaurant. So best barbecue in Mesa. Oh, so that is going to go into the equation.
So where's your best barbecue in Mesa?
That's going to be coming up into the results, right? And what's cool about this is, oh, just yesterday, this review automatically shared to Facebook and Instagram and back to the Google Business Profile. So our system is designed to not only do that review response, but look down here, social agent. That's another part of our agentic flow. It'll automatically every 3 days, once a day, 3 days, once a week, or once a month, it'll respond with only, and you can tell it, we want only our 5 stars being reshared. And it will share those directly to those platforms. And the Google Business Profile we share back to, even though the review is left there, and the reason why we do it is because it puts it back on the business profile as an update, creating activity on the profile. And that is manageable right here. If you manage your Google Business Profile, this is like 10 times easier. Literally, all of your updates, so those are the Google, see all those things right here? Mm-hmm. So this is our content plan that we post on top of these reviews. And these reviews have all those keywords I just said. And what does Instagram get happening now? Google scraping Instagram. And these are going back to Google as another opportunity for keywords. You know, so and if you wanted to change your photos, you can change them right inside this portal. If you want to change your online booking or food delivery service URLs, Within 10 minutes, it automatically updates on your Google profile. You get special hours, open hours, closed hours. You're closed on Easter, for example. You update it here, 15 minutes later, it's updated there. So really freaking cool thing. And then right over here where it says Talisman Agent, that's going to be a drop down next Friday. It's going to have, it's going to say SEO, social, and GEO. GEO, because we've been talking about it so much, it's going to be able to create blogs, long form writing blogs that can publish directly to your website and also back to your social using all of the information it knows about your business, including all the reviews about your business, because it has what's called a sentiment analysis, which is over here. This feedback summary is basically your overall feeling from your restaurant from all the reviews it's ever had, and every 30 days it gives you a scorecard of what's going good and what areas you can improve, and an action plan to help fix those the parts that you're struggling on. Every month it redoes this. It repulls all the reviews from the whole month and gives you this action plan. And it uses this information to craft high-ranking keywords into GEO, generative engine optimization, blog posts that are schema marked up and posted to your website. It's really cool.
I'm just going to get Steve to let me use it for a month or two to see how it works, bro. You know,
and our app should be
I'll give you some feedback on it because this is his. I'm just jumping in to see how it's going, and I definitely want to try it on one or two of my businesses. So for being here, that's what he's going to do. Give me a free prescription.
There you go.
It's on camera now.
No. All right,
Can we take a break or no?
We're almost done.
Okay.
Yeah, we're at the end of the break point. Okay.
All right, here we go.
We literally, this is all just local stuff, so just people need to think about mentally when someone searches best HVAC company near me, 0-click search is happening. It's going to suggest who it suggested, and that's it. And most people, 90-something%, just go with that. So
if you're not in the game, you're going to lose out.
Correct. And right here, the solution right here is entity optimization, claiming and updating your Google business profile. We talked about that. Making sure all your information is accurate. We talked about that. Getting citations and directories, local news. We just talked about all this stuff. So this is where you just have to pay attention. If you're a small business in our area, this is going to affect you. TikTok Shop as local revenue channel. If you're a small business in Mojave County and you sell stuff to people, why would you not have a TikTok Shop? Why would you not sell your stuff online?
You can take a small closet and make it
make it into a quick little studio. Not too much. We already talked about Instagram DM shares. Reward people to share via their DMs. Hey, share our posts in your DMs. Share your, and get that ranking to push you up.
Well, actually, hearing you do that right now, I'm seeing the comment. And I don't know if it's new or not, but I've been noticing it. When people make a comment within your feed, it goes into your messenger.
I see that.
And that's something new to me within the last, I'd say, next month or two.
And so I think it gets your attention versus the notifications. This is so
saying,
bombarded with stuff.
So, well, again, I think that's that DM trying to get you to do a switch over really quick and say, oh, maybe I can just, instead of going through my content every night, scrolling through the comments, I just go right to my messenger and all my stuff whatever content, even the past stuff I've seen pop in. I'm like, wow, okay, that was a long time. That was a year ago. Somebody made a comment. It went into my messenger, not mine, but the company's messenger, where I responded to him saying, we appreciate that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, for sure. That's true.
And it's kind of weird how it's changed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
things they change.
Around.
Boom.
Yep, they just move it around. They test it, and they think that and then wait.
What I was doing is I was using some of it and taking the links and putting it into some companies so that way the owners would see. And some of the links, and so all of a sudden I'm like, I didn't put that there, and it has a comment underneath of it. I'm like, is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok doing that automatically now? I don't think TikTok's doing it, but I know Instagram and Facebook are because. I'm reading them. So it's saving them, I guess, the owner or whoever is running the page, some time on that without having
to try to find the comments. Yeah.
Anyway.
And then the last kind of component is really just hiring an agent versus hiring a part-time employee. I think that we see it a lot where someone's got their nephew or their office worker doing their social media and they're spending X amount of dollars a month for them to sit there and do it wrong.
And then they ask me, when they bring me on, they ask me, well, did you know that this, could they draw? Could they make some content? Are they well spoken? Are they taking great pictures? Are they,
Right.
this is your
Have they ever
company
done
they're
this?
putting out here, and I've seen it all the time. Terrible picture.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you took a picture, but you eat with your eyes, or you consume that content by the visual that you're given at that point.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is going out as garbage.
Yeah.
And then they get upset when they're, oh, I did the boost button. What?
Oh, no.
Don't do the boost button.
Yeah.
It's not helping you. Well, I've spent like thousands of dollars on this boost button. I'm like, that's why you're so sour about me coming in and saying, hey, we're going to not do the boost button. We're going to do campaigns. We're going to look at this content and run it from there.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts.
I know. So
There's true struggles of this.
for real.
But anyway,
I'll
shut up.
A few trending topics that are coming up in the next couple weeks. AI agents using credit cards to purchase things. You know, that's
Negative.
a big thing.
It's not going to happen.
I know. Siri, we're gonna find out
I
if
don't
Siri's
even
gonna
have a card in my phone yet.
No.
I don't trust it that much. You know, I'm
Dang.
sorry. X. That's the Generation X for you.
What else is there? MCP security stuff, vulnerabilities. If it's got all of your memories and someone hacks into it, you know what happens next?
Gone.
Instagram, your algorithm rollout reactions. We're going to find out like how that's going. Agentic as marketing backward backlash. We're going to see what happens with that. Tech community pushes back on every company calling their product agentic, and that's because some people call automation flows agentic when they're not, because there's no actual AI model taking action. It's just following it called a trigger reaction, which is different. So a lot of people are I have an agentic solution.
You're actually
It's actually taking an action and doing something on your behalf. There's a difference.
Your agent's working for you.
Right.
It's kind of finding where you need to be at, where that was just, there it is.
Yep. Cool. Well, that is it. Look at all these sources. You know, you got Fortune.com, Marketing Professors, Search Engine Land, Sprout Media. There's a lot.
This is a time and age right now that small businesses can compete.
Oh, for sure.
With a lesser budget and still go into it. You know, still be in the game.
Yep.
But there's going to be a time where it's just, if you're not playing a little bit or getting into the game, you're just going to be wiped off the map.
Oh, for sure.
You're done.
Yeah. And that's what I said in the last week.
So we just retire.
I know.
Yeah.
Because someone will just roll into town that knows what they're doing. And, you know, that little mom and pop store that just kind of sat around on their laurels, and they had opportunities to get ahead of this stuff, but they didn't take action. And now all of a sudden this other business comes in and it's like.
I think there's a really, I'm going to do shout outs because I know businesses that really do what they need to do. The marketplace, downtown Kingman.
Yeah. The 66 market?
66 market, well established, well social media, good website, and they do online sales. I've seen them.
Yeah.
So they jumped on the bandwagon too. So give them a big shout out.
Oh, Farmhouse you're talking about? Or
is it Farmhouse? Yeah, it's Farmhouse.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes.
The big white side and the farm.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, because I see them and they're doing great.
They do like live shopping too, I think.
I was totally impressed. They got it down. So if you ever guys want to check out.
I want to see a small local business that is doing it right.
Doing it right. What is it?
Farmhouse.
Farmhouse?
Yeah. There's 66 Marketplace, but I don't know if she does.
I didn't see.
She's like on the very right side.
I haven't seen too much content. That tells you something because I'm a constant scroller no matter what.
Right.
I'm always looking at the competition, always looking at the content.
Yeah, she doesn't have a website. So you're thinking the Farmhouse.
Yeah, it's a Farmhouse downtown.
She's putting out some
Kingman.
social stuff, which is good. The 66 Marketplace, but yeah, Farmhouse. They've been doing it a long time.
They've integrated themselves. Hats off to you guys if you see this.
And then we had a podcast episode with them a couple years ago. And they had 18,000 followers from a local page. That's huge for a small business. Yeah, they're very consistent. They're just doing it. They're doing it.
So, Farmhouse, give a shout out.
Yep,
you guys are doing it.
All right, well, we will be back next week for another Buzzwords episode. We don't know what the word is yet, but we will come up with one that hits the mark with what's happening right now in AI, marketing, social media, in our community.
Look at that. The website just pops up. Look at that.
That's good.
Boom. I mean,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Shout out, guys. All right, we're out of here.
Cool. Out. Peace.